It is a great day when you walk into the library to not only check out books, but discover that they have a library sale. Fill a bag of books for only $5. Yeah, so of course I have a book haul for y'all today. Hello friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Haley and I am a Christian wife, homeschooling mother of 3, out to redeem my very own literary education. Which means that a house full of books is not only necessary, but a requirement. However, this year at the beginning of the year, I did set some monetary bookish goals, and I wrote those in the notes pages of my planner so that I can keep track of all of my different goals for the year. But some of those goals in related to book budgeting is read the books I own, so read 2 books before buying one. Have a book budget, $25. This is for used books or new books, however I can work it out, $25 a month, and then collect certain editions of books and collect more classics. So this year I really haven't bought very many books yet at all because a lot of the books I already own aligned with my reading goals. I already had a lot of J.R.R. Tolkien and L.M. Montgomery and a couple of other classics that I wanted to read. That's my male and female author of the year. So I have not bought a ton of books this year, but I went to my local library to check out library books as you do and found that they had a sale going. Fill up a bag of books for $5. However many books can fit in that bag for $5, and I could not resist that. I was conscious of the books that I was buying. I didn't want to just throw everything into the bag. Well, I did, but I didn't figure that would be very conducive to some of my goals and making sure that our home library is filled with only the best of books. So I did restrain myself, but the bag did have a rip in it, which, you know, it still counts, right? The majority of books that I found were actually for my children. There are a lot of readers and children's classics. However, since I'm out to redeem my very own literary education, many, if not honestly all of these books work for me too because I never read them in my childhood. But now I have them and can read them aloud to my children, and we can experience those stories together for the very first time. And I also bought some readers because my oldest daughter just graduated kindergarten. We finished up the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons reading curriculum, which worked wonderful for us. And she is now a reader and is voraciously reading all of the readers we already own. So she needs some new books. So let's dive right in. The first book I got is a reader that she can read, and that is Go Dog Go by P.D. Eastman. This is part of the Dr. Seuss I Can Read It All by Myself beginner books. We have so many Dr. Seuss books, but we didn't have this one, and it's in really nice condition. Honestly, it looks just as nice as if I had just bought it from Walmart, so that was a great find. I also found some Magic Tree House books. Now, I remember the Magic Tree House books from when I was a kid, and recently I've heard these books mentioned on 2 literary podcasts that I listen to. Both of the interviewees mentioned how much the Magic Tree House books were a huge part of their reading life as a child, because although these books are kind of easy and they follow the same story structure, they're books that as a new reader you can just gobble up. And so when I heard that and then ran into these at the library sale, I grabbed as many different kinds as I could find so that when my daughter is ready for these books, they are there ready for her. And I found The Night at Dawn, Ghost Town at Sundown, and Day of the Dragon King. I need to find the very first book in the series just to get it kicked off, but I think after that it doesn't really matter what order you read them in. But I'm excited for her to get to these as a new reader. The next book I have, I'm really excited about because I've been wanting to read this one aloud with my daughter. It's a classic that's been on my mind because I want to read it, and that is Mary Poppins by P.L. Travers. I'm really excited about this because I only ever saw the Disney Mary Poppins movie as a child, and I just know the book has to be so much better. The next children's classic that I found is actually on the Ambleside Online Year 1 book list, and my daughter is going into Year 1, and so I thought this would be really great to read aloud this summer before the school year starts, because it's listed as a free read, so you can really just read it whenever, and that is Heidi by Joanna Spyri, something. I have never read this children's classic, and I have been dying to get to it myself. We've loved The Secret Garden by Frances Hodgson Burnett, and so I feel like this is going to be a book that she's going to enjoy as well, and I think I'll enjoy it too. So I am also excited to read this alongside of her. The next book is a flashback from my childhood past, and that is James and the Giant Peach by Roald Dahl. I did read this book as a kid, and I also loved that James and the Giant Peach movie, so I can't wait to read this one with her, and when we finish it, we can watch the movie together, which is just a really fun addition for a read aloud. So I can't wait to revisit a childhood favorite with her. The next children's book I found is one I have heard about, but I have not read, and that is The Family Under the Bridge by Natalie Savage Carlson. This book sounds just like it's going to be a heart-wrenching, heart-touching story about a family who lives under the bridge. So it's going to talk, of course, about homelessness and found family, and I can't wait to read it with her. I know it's going to be a tough topic, but what better way to engage with that than through a story? And finally, the last two books I grabbed in the library sale are, of course, something for me and something for my husband. So for my husband, I got Jesus Politics, How to Win Back the Soul of America by Phil Robertson. My husband loves Phil Robertson so much. He is a kind of spiritual mentor, someone that he would be a disciple of if he could be in real life. And I know Phil just went into glory as he passed away, but he said, do not cry for him, rejoice for him. So we are rejoicing that our brother in Christ is with the Lord. But this is the only Phil Robertson book that my husband has not read and does not own. So when I saw it, I had to grab that for him. The very last book is one that I bought for myself, and it's not one I would have ever bought for myself had it not been in a library sale and not cost any additional money to just go in the bag. And that is Homebody by Joanna Gaines. This was written several years ago by her. It's kind of a flip-through book with lots of beautiful pictures about designing a space. It is Homebody, a guide to creating spaces you never want to leave. So I usually check books like this out from the library. So usually every time I go to the library, I check out a home decorating book. But it's nice to just kind of own one now, and it didn't cost me any extra to put it in the bag. So that's all of the books that I bought at the library sale. Fill a bag up for $5. However, since I was already at the library to check out some books, I did in fact check out some books. Just a few. I actually don't ever check out a ton of books when I'm at the library because we're usually focusing on reading what we already have at home. But going to the library is a great way to shop for books if you're on a budget but still have the experience and to read something new. So the first book I got is just a fun book for my daughter. That is Nancy Clancy, Super Sleuth, written by Jane O'Connor and illustrated by Robin Price Glasser. My daughter loves the Fancy Nancy stories, and she loves the JoJo readers about Nancy's little sister JoJo. And this is more of a book about Fancy Nancy as an older child, and it's one that kids can actually read for themselves that's a little bit longer. So I'm excited to read this one aloud to her. This is book 1 in the Nancy Clancy series, and specifically the fact that it's about a mystery, because for my daughter's birthday last year, she asked for a detective outfit and magnifying glass. So I think this is just the perfect story for her right now. And I know after reading it, she's going to go around in her costume doing her thing. So this one is just a fun read. While we read a ton of children's classics and great stories, I think it's okay to introduce some fun stories as well. The next one is a collection of poetry I got for me, and that is the collected poems of W.B. Yeats. Now, I recently read a book called Why Literature Still Matters by Dr. Jason Baxter, and he had some poetry in there by W.B. Yeats that just absolutely touched me. I just really loved that writing, so I wanted to pick up a collection of his work just to flip through and read for myself and discover some more of his poems. So I probably won't get through all of it this month before I have to take it back, but I can read a couple of them and just get a feel for more of his poetry. And the last book is a coffee table book, so it is a book. Put my makeup down, young man. Put it back in the bag. Put it back in the drawer, please. Oh, jeez. The last book that I checked out from the library is a home decorating book, a coffee table book that I can just flip through when I want to opt for something that isn't a screen, but I don't exactly have enough time to sit down and read my book. So that's what I usually do. And that's called The Perfectly Imperfect Home, How to Decorate and Live Well by Deborah Needleman. And what I like about this book is it's not necessarily pictures of a decorated home, but it's filled with illustrations, which just looks really fun. I wouldn't probably buy this book on my own, but I would love to try it from the library, so I can't wait to flip through it this month. That's all the books that I have from my library haul. What a great find to find a library sale happening and check out a few books as well. I can't wait to read all these with my daughter, read these for myself. I'll be doing some reviews on them as we read them. But thank y'all so much for joining me. I think this is the first book haul that I've ever put on my channel, so I hope that you enjoyed it. If you've bought any books that you've loved recently, please let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to put all of the books mentioned in the description below. Thank y'all so much for watching. Lord willing, I will see you next time. Happy reading, friends. Stay on your book budget. Or not. It's okay if you don't.